Hey guys, it's Jeremy again. Welcome back to Darth Jeremy, my new YouTube channel where I talk about basically whatever I want. Um, I thought I would do a book-related video for you guys today. In my last video, I said that I was going to be leaving BookTube. I've kind of changed my mind a little bit. It's still going to be about books, but it's also going to be about movies. It's going to be about TV shows. It's basically going to be about whatever I want to talk about. So that's what this channel is going to be. I am chewing gum because I am incredibly sick and it's helping my sore throat, so please excuse me. But I watched a video about 20 minutes ago from Julie over at Pages and Pens, and she did her unread book collection, so I thought I would do a part of that today for today's video. These are going to be all of my unread adult books, because all of my young adult books are in my living room. That one, I don't know how I'm gonna do that. That one may have to wait a while because I can't bring hundreds of books into my room to be able to show you. That's gonna be way too much work. But I'm gonna do mine a little bit different than the way she did, and I'll leave her video posted down below because she's an amazing booktuber. She's one of my favorites, actually. So I'm going to show you what books I have read and what books I have not read, but overall, most of these books are unread. So we have The Exile by Diana Gabaldon, Gabaldon. I don't know how you say her name. This is an Outlander graphic novel, and I have read this. I'm reading it again, though, but I have read this one. And the bookmark is out. Then we have Outlander, which I have read this. Dragonfly in Amber, which I have read this. I'm planning on rereading these. I want to reread them because I want to do informal book reviews for them, but like it took me 3 months to read Outlander and 6 months to read Dragonfly and Amber, so I don't think I'm going to be rereading them anytime soon. I might just watch the first and second seasons of the TV show because they basically summarized the basic story, and I might just review the books that way. I haven't decided. And then I have book 3, which is Voyager, which I really need to start reading this. Like, I haven't read this one yet, so I haven't read this. Then I have Drums of Autumn. I do have all of these in hardback. I have a couple people that's been asking me if these are hardback or not. Or they are. They're also very expensive. Then I have book 5, which is The Fairy Cross. A Breath of Snow and Ashes, which is book 6. And then book 7 is An Echo in the Bone. There is an 8th book, and it is called Written in My Own Heart's Blood, but I don't have that one. I want to get that book. I want to get the 2 big, giant books that dissect the first 4 books is in one, and then 5 through 8 is in another one. And then I also want to get the 4 books that are about Lord John Grey, because I believe he is introduced in Voyager, so I kind of want to get his series. A couple of Stephenie Meyer books. I have The Host and The Chemist. I have not read either one of these books, and I really want to. These are 2 books that I definitely want to try to get to this year. If I don't get to The Chemist this year, I'm not going to be too upset, but I do definitely want to sit down and find the time to read The Host this year. I don't know, but this is definitely a book that I definitely want to read. I loved the Twilight series, so I really want to read some of her adult books. And then I have The Casual Vacancy by J.K. Rowling. I have yet to finish the Harry Potter series. I've only read the first 4 books, but this is the only book by J.K. Rowling that is under her name, J.K. Rowling, that is adult. She has a series under the name of Robert Galbraith, and that is the Cormoran Strike series with I think it's The Cuckoo's Calling, The Silkworm, and Careers of Evil. I think there's only 3 out in that series, but anyway. Then I have The Confessions of Young Nero by Margaret George. I don't know if I ever hauled this book, but this is a historical book. It's not really historical. I don't know how to describe this, but Nero was a emperor of ancient Rome back a long time ago. I'm horrible with history, but this is basically a retelling, and she and Margaret George spent years and years and years researching, writing this book. And this is actually a duology because the story was so long that they couldn't publish it into one book like they most do with her work. So the second part to his story will be published in October. This is also written in Nero's first-person perspective, so it's another book in a male's perspective, so I'm very excited, and it's also adult fiction. Everything over here is adult fiction, by the way. Let's see if I can tidy this up quickly. Honestly, I thought this would be a lot easier to show you guys. Let's see. And then I also have some Christian fiction. I know that's probably not something that's going to... You guys probably aren't going to care at all about that, but I did go back to my Christian faith last year, so I won't be sharing a ton about that, because not that I'm ashamed of it or anything, but I mean, I feel like a lot of people that do that, like, try to force their opinion on others, and that's not what I do. But this is probably one of my favorite Christian fiction writers. I've read a couple of her books, and that is Francine Rivers. So I have her Mark of the Lion trilogy, which is A Voice in the Wind, An Echo in the Darkness, and As Sure as the Dawn. So very excited to read that trilogy. And then I got her newest book out, which is called The Masterpiece. And I don't care who you are, this is an absolutely stunning book all the way around. It's gorgeous. So that's awesome. And then I have Sweet Revenge by Lindsay Sands, which I've had this for like years. I bought this because I was recommended this book on Facebook shortly after I read Outlander. And then I found this at my local Walmart years ago, and it was $6. I bought it, and I expected to read it right away, and it just sat here. So I will read this because the story looks really good, and it's set in Scotland, in the Highlands, so I'm all over that. I might have to sit on the floor because these shelves are going to be a lot harder to get to. So I don't know how much of me you're going to be able to see, but I'll try to make this work somehow. Let's maneuver my camera if I can. Well, it doesn't want to be pointed downward. I wish I had better... Well, it doesn't want to work, so we're just going to have to make the best of it. I also have the entirety of J.R. Ward's Black Dagger Brotherhood series. So we have Dark Lover, Lover Eternal, Lover Awakened, ouch. Lover Revealed, Lover Unbound, Lover Enshrined, Lover Avenged, Lover Mine, Lover Unleashed, Lover Reborn, which are all the books I have in mass paperback, and then the rest are hardcover. So then we have book 11, which is Lover at Last. Book 12 is The King. 13 is The Shadows. 14 is The Beast. and 15 is The Chosen. And 16, book 16 in the series is, I believe, don't completely quote me on this, but I believe it comes out on April 10th, and it is called The Thief, and it is book 16 in the series. I own 15 books of the series that are out, haven't read a single one of them. I read the first 4 chapters of Dark Lover. This is a series I've been contemplating whether I want to get rid of, because I've had these for, I think, going on almost 2 years, and I have yet to pick up a single one of these books and read them. There's 16 of them. There's a lot. And then I also have the first 2 books of the Black Dagger Legacy series. I need to get my hand on the 3rd book. Book 1 is Blood Kiss, and the 2nd book is Blood Vow. This series was supposed to be published in mass paperback only, and then the success of this book made the publisher decide to publish the 2nd book in hardback, and that's how I got the hardback. Because anytime I can get a J.R. Ward book in hardback, I do it. I don't even question it, I just go for it. So it is going to look really freaking weird. Have the first book in the series in mass paperback and the rest of them. I really wish they would re-release this in mass paperback, in hardback, so it could match the rest of the series. But those are those books. These ones are going to get a lot harder to show you, but I will do my best. You know, this is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. So we're gonna... I have been requiring Megan Hart's books. I've been wanting to read her books for years, thanks to Hannah over at Hannahly. So we have Dirty. I'm running out of spaces to put these books now. But now I also own Anna Todd's entire After series, which is hold on. After We Collided, After We Fell, and After Ever Happy. I'm probably going to be reading this series on my Kindle, because these books are published through Simon & Schuster, but these books are going to get so kinds of messed up if I physically read the paperbacks. I mean, Simon & Schuster is amazing. They really should have published these in hardcover, because, I mean, they're good paperbacks, but not for this one. This one is 800 plus pages, and it's long, and it's big, as you can, like, tell. It's huge, but I have read the fan fiction version. I have not read the printed version, and it's been years since I read that, so I want to reread that as well. So we have Dating You, Hating You by Christina Hobbs and Lauren Billings under the name of Christina Lauren. I read one book by Christina Lauren, which was Beautiful Bastard, which I did not like, but I think I'm going to reread that and give it a second try, because maybe I just wasn't in the right mindset to be reading it. And then I also have The Hating Game by Sally Thorne, and I really want to read this. This is an adult contemporary. I should have said, a lot of these books, if I have read them, I will let you guys know. So if I hold up a book, then I haven't read it. Then I have Fallen Too Far by Abby Glines. This series I am dying to start reading. I think I'm going to save this for the summertime. Because the books are really short. These are going to be massively quick reads. I probably could get through one of these books in like an afternoon or something, because they're short. Then there's not a lot of words on each page, so it should be a pretty quick experience, I'm sure. I'm going to disappear down here. Let's see if I can... Yeah, no, you're not going to be able to see me. Alright, so now that we have the rest of my Megan Hart books over here, we have Tear You Apart by Megan Hart, which is the book I've decided to begin my Megan Hart reading experience. This will be the first book I ever read from her, because, yeah. Then I have Broken, Deeper, Stranger, and tempted. Okay, that's gonna have to be moved, or if it's gonna fall everywhere. The fun part is being able to put all these books back in the exact order that they were in, which is probably not gonna end up happening. Okay. So, here is the rest of the Abby Glines series. Never Too Far is the second book. Forever Too Far is the third and final book to the main sort of trilogy of these characters. Then we have Rush Too Far, which is a Fallen Too Far in Rush's perspective. I love when authors do this. Some people think it's, you know, lazy writing or cash cow. Think what you want. A lot of the times I really, really enjoy when books do that. It's really fun to read the same story in a different perspective, especially if it's a character you really like. And the sun is shining big time in my window, hence why I'm like lighting up like a Christmas tree over here. And then I also have one of my favorite all-time. I need to reread this actually, and that is The Edge of Never by J.A. Redmersky. This book redefined everything for me. This was the book that started all of this for me, and this is the reason I decided to start reading romance more often. This, in one book, there is a second book in this series, and I will never read it. I just don't care. I love Jessica and her work, but I'm not going to taint the image I have of this book by reading the second book. One of my best friends in the world, who I've been friends with for like 6 years, just told me that it was just not worth my time. So I'm not going to waste my time on it. Sorry, this is not more well organized, but that's just not how I do it. Then we have... I originally got rid of my copies of these books, but after Witty Novels basically trash-talked these all over her Twitter account, I was like, oh really, it's another feminist that complains about books. Whatever. And that is The Bronze Horseman by Paulina Simmons. I am so excited to read this. I started reading this because I have this on my Kindle, so I've been slowly taking small bites out of this and reading it. I'm so excited to read this book. Like, it's 800 pages, I know, but I'm very excited to read this. I think it's just going to be an amazing story. And then I also have the second book in that series, which is Tatiana and Alexander. I did have The Summer Garden, but it came to me in, like, so many fucked up ways. I need to repurchase a much better copy of it. And then I have my Tarrant Fisher collection. I have 6 of her books. She has 2 more. I just have yet to get them. So I have her Love Me With Lies series with The Opportunist, Dirty Red, and Thief. Then I have her 3 standalone novels. Mudvayne, which is still one of the most brilliant dark contemporary novels I've ever encountered, and this does have a female protagonist. This book is fucking amazing, and if you have not read it, I highly recommend that you do. It is so, so good. Read that a couple of years ago. I really want to reread that. This will be the next Tarrant Fisher book I read. I need to get caught up on her books, and that is Marrow, and then I have her 3rd book, Fuck Love. She has another one, Atheists Kneel Down and Pray, and Bad Mommy, and I think she has another book coming out this year, maybe. Okay, this is the bottom shelf, so we're going to get into it. Alright, how am I even going to do this? We have Untamed by S.C. Stevens, which is the 4th book of the Thoughtless series. Then I have the Dark Duet series by C.J. Roberts with Captive in the Dark, Seduced in the Dark, and Epilogue. I love this series. I really do. It is a very dark, dark, contemporary series. Way dark. I think the series is even darker than Mudvayne was. It's very, very dark, but it's also so, so good. It deals with human sex trafficking and how C.J. Roberts has spread so much awareness with this series. I have read these, but I thought that the way I went reviewing them, saying I loved a book that deals with sex trafficking, people wouldn't understand. They're very dark. They're very dark. They're very, very disturbing in multiple ways. There's a lot of people who freaking hate this first book because of what it entails. I just feel like they don't understand it. So I am planning on doing a reread of this series probably in the fall, and then I will probably do more in-depth reviews of each book. Same thing with this series. I have read them. Ooh, being on my knees too much is not gonna go well for me. I have the This Man series, or the first 3 books. There's going to be a 4th book that comes out at the end of March. So we have This Man, Beneath This Man, and This Man Confessed. And I think the 4th book is called With This Man, which is kind of a retarded title, but whatever. So I have read this trilogy as well, and this is one of my favorite trilogies. I loved it. I love the way the story ended. So we'll see what the 4th book is, and maybe it'll be so popular she'll be able to write a 5th book, make it like a 5-book series, because that would be wonderful. So I have read those, by the way. Then I have the Gabriel series by Sylvain Renard, and I just heard that he is writing a 4th book novella to the series, and I'm super excited about that. I have only read Gabriel's Inferno, which you guys probably know if you have been a subscriber to me for a while. This is one of my favorite book series. Then I have book 2, Gabriel's Rapture, which is on my list to read this year. And the 3rd book, Gabriel's Redemption. I want to finish this trilogy this year, hopefully. So we'll see if that can actually happen. Oh my gosh, there's books everywhere, and it's a fucking disaster. I have a couple more, but I have 2 more books by Margaret George. I have Helen of Troy and Mary Called Magdalene. This book is about just about Helen during the Trojan War, and this is about Mary Magdalene. So it's not really a religious novel, by the way. Okay, so I'm going to do this in 2 parts, and I will see you guys in the next part because this video is already 20 minutes long, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. Bye.